think we all know how petty WWE can be when it comes to wanting to step on AEW's toes. For example, last year they did NXT Worlds Collide and Clash at the Castle in Cardiff the same weekend as AEW All Out. This year, WWE is stepping on AEW's toes again, but this time with NXT Battleground and WWE doing Saudi Arabia and Night of Champions the same weekend as AEW is doing Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. Now, I find it to be ridiculously hilarious that WWE now all of a sudden wants to run these major holidays. Memorial Day, 4th of July. AEW doesn't run 4th of July, but now they're starting to run 4th of July weekend with Money in the Bank. And then now WWE starts to do Labor Day as well. WWE is petty when it comes to trying to one-up AEW and step on Tony Khan's toes. Now it's being reported that WWE is set to retaliate. They are expected to retaliate when AEW debuts Collision on June 17th. Now, as you guys know, AEW has secured Collision. CM Punk is coming back. United Center is booked. It's going to be a major, major deal. AEW now has their second show equal to Dynamite, and it's happening this summer. Saturday night, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, a 2-hour block of a second AEW show. Now, it's not official yet. We're waiting on word possibly next week for the TV rights announcement that Tony Khan has alluded to, and AEW Collision being announced at the TV upfronts with AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery. And Dave Meltzer is now reporting that AEW Collision, when announced, he feels WWE will absolutely retaliate in some way, shape, or form. And he says this, and I quote, "What's WWE's next move? Will they retaliate? That will be the interesting situation because I feel there will be one. I just don't know what it is. I don't see WWE going and adding a Saturday night show. Who knows, though? WWE could absolutely add a Saturday night show. But AEW will be going up against WWE pay-per-views many times this year and in beyond because WWE has now moved their pay-per-views or their premium live events to a Saturday instead of doing it on a Sunday. So Collision is already heading into this at a major disadvantage because when there's a WWE PLE and Collision's on at the same time, the wrestling fans are now going to have to decide, well, do I watch Collision or do I watch WWE's premium live event? That's the situation that Tony Khan's going to run into. He's not only going to be competing with WWE, he's going to be competing with the NBA, the NHL, the MLB. He's going to be majorly preempted with this show, and I wonder how those preemptions are going to affect Collision when everybody is looking at this show to be the true successor to Dynamite and be AEW's SmackDown to Dynamite's Raw comparison. Now, Meltzer says, how many times a year is that going to happen? I would not be surprised to see NXT pay-per-views now all of a sudden move to Saturdays instead of being on Sundays. WWE and AEW have been going back and forth, tit for tat, this petty back and forth. Tony Khan has even said that AEW and WWE hate each other and absolutely blew up at media when asked about last year WWE using the Worlds Collide and Clash of the Castle pay-per-views on the same weekend as AEW All Out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then you got shills like Triple H and HBK. Triple H, listen, you know, we could sit here and tout Triple H and the great things that he's done, but every time Triple H is in the public eye, he gives the most PR nauseating answers. Same thing with Shawn Michaels when it comes to how he's running NXT. He said, oh, we're seeing big increases and we're seeing great interest in NXT. moving to a holiday weekend or whatever the fucking case may be. Motherfucker, you never ran NXT pay-per-views on a holiday weekend. Now all of a sudden you feel like NXT is equal or comparable to AEW. Who the fuck is going to be watching Battleground the same time that it's airing across from Double or Nothing? Give me a break. Now, you may have the geeks who don't want to spend $50 on the AEW pay-per-view and you'd rather sit with your fucking NXT show on Peacock for $4.99 with ads included. By all means, however you want to spend your money. But they are absolutely out of their mind that they feel the need to do this every single time that AEW has something going on. They feel like, oh, how do we get in there? How can we get in there? Now, the spirit of competition is great. The spirit of competition is great. If Tony Khan feels like his brand is being, compromised by WWE and they're trying to, get in on what he's doing there and try to be petty, he's going to up the ante. He's going to put on a show that everybody knows is going to be a banger show. Now, the thing is, the way I see it is AEW is the alternative to WWE. And the audiences, I feel, are vastly different. There's a lot of people who watch AEW that don't watch WWE. There's a lot of people that watch AEW that refuse to watch anything related to WWE at all, no matter who's running it. It's just the nature of the beast. So I don't really understand why WWE makes it such a big deal to step on Tony Khan's toes here when the audiences are so different. AEW fans are not watching WWE. They are, but a very small portion of them are. And if you're a WWE fan, you're not watching AEW because it's not your type of program. It's not your type of pro wrestling. So I don't really understand the big deal about this. I find it to be laughable, and it makes WWE look bad because AEW has never admitted that type of behavior towards WWE. It's only coming from WWE when AEW wants to make a chess move, and WWE seems like it's a big fucking game of chess. And meanwhile, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. I guess they just like seeing Tony Khan riled up because we know he wears his heart on his sleeve. So I'll keep a close eye on that. Let me know what you guys think about that. WWE stepping on AEW's toes this Memorial Day weekend, and they plan to retaliate, according to Dave Meltzer, with AEW Collision debuting on June 17th. A major star has now been confirmed, I would say, by Dave Meltzer at least, for All In. Now, this is not confirmed by AEW or Tony Khan, but I think we are all under the assumption that this individual will be at All In when AEW invades Wembley Stadium. Will Ospreay, who is arguably the best professional wrestler on the planet, if you guys say he's not, I mean, that's your opinion, but he's obviously in discussion for world's greatest professional wrestler. He's from the United Kingdom. He's expressed interest already in working this show. It would be foolish for him not to be there. Ospreay's no stranger to working matches with AEW either, as he's wrestled a few matches for them in 2022, including defending the IWGP United States Championship against Orange Cassidy at the AEW New Japan Forbidden Door last June, which was one of the best matches of the entire year. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer noted that Ospreay is indeed booked for the upcoming show. Will Ospreay, as of a couple of days ago, says Dave Meltzer was booked for the show. I do not know his opponent. I do not know the match, but he was booked on the show, end quote. I think everybody's kind of wanting and hoping that the Elite go to battle against FTR and CM Punk. I mean, if business is right and the stars align, that is your main event for that show. I know Meltzer had previously stated, and I know a lot of people previously stated, that Ospreay is more than likely going to get his IWGP United States Championship back from Kenny Omega. You might not know that Kenny Omega is the IWGP United States Champion. I would think we get that match at Forbidden Door in a rematch if Will Ospreay's healthy enough. I know Will Ospreay's pretty banged up, and they want him for this show. Hopefully he can make this show. I know he put out a video saying that he doesn't have a lot more time, seeing how his style has kind of deteriorated his body over the past several years. But I would think that if he is healthy to go for Forbidden Door, I think that would be the match, and he wins back that IWGP United States Championship. If the stars don't align, If the stars don't align for the Elite, CM Punk and FTR in the main event of that show, I would say let's do Omega and Ospreay at Wembley and have Ospreay win the United States Championship there against Kenny Omega in what could be the best match of their lives there, between the two at least, and maybe the best match on the entire show, seeing how they had a already classic match this year at the New Japan show for Wrestle Kingdom. So I don't know. There's a couple ways to go about it. Tony Khan, I'm sure, has got a plan in mind. I'm sure he's already got a card in his head about what he wants to do at All In. It's going to be interesting, but Will Ospreay on that show? Absolutely. No matter what he's doing, no matter who he's in the ring with, you know it is going to be a banger. And we got backstage news on why Miro and Thunder Rosa appeared on Dynamite this Wednesday. Miro, people have been asking for Miro for months, and he showed up randomly in a backstage segment with Renee. She asked him why he was there. He didn't answer. He walked into Tony Khan's office. Thunder Rosa showed up. She also did an interview with Renee, and she said that it was now the perfect opportunity to go face-to-face and talk to Poppy Khan. She walked into his office. We never seen either of them again for the rest of the show. Now, Fightful Select is reporting that the returns of Miro and Thunder Rosa, as well as other wrestlers incoming, are directly tied to the debut of AEW Collision. Miro doesn't surprise me, says Dave Meltzer, because he's been on the show for a while, so he could be one of the new stars on that Saturday show. Rosa, her back was really bad. I was kind of surprised to see Thunder Rosa, says Dave Meltzer. She's been at the tapings every week for Spanish commentary, and I know that she is training to get back into the ring. They showed one of them on All Access, and granted, that was a few months ago. I have heard still that she is training. She's hurting a lot, but training. Her back is not better, but they reintroduced her. I don't know what the role would be. I didn't get the impression she was ready to return so quickly to AEW, says Dave Meltzer. For all we know, she's all ready to go. And she was kayfabing everybody and didn't really want to let anybody know that she was all right. If she's back on TV and she's walking into Tony Khan's office, there's something brewing there. Tony Khan would not bring her back to television and put her in a situation like that with him and his name tied to it if she wasn't ready to come back. Miro, people have been asking for him to come back, and I love that we could potentially see Thunder Rosa and Miro and Andrade and everybody that we have not seen in quite some time re-debut with AEW and get them on their own show. I love that. This also is an indication that we may be getting some brand split or a soft brand split as it's been reported. Thunder Rosa, get her away from the Britt Baker camp and put her on her own show. Miro, I know he's had a couple of rumors floating around about him that he's difficult to work with. Maybe he was difficult with some people on Dynamite before he went on hiatus, and now they're putting him on a show where he's actually going to work with people that he wants to work with. Same thing for Andrade. He was a headache as well, getting into backstage confrontations with Sammy Guevara and whatnot. He's back. Or maybe they just realized, Miro and Andrade anyway, that the grass is not really looking all too green on the WWE side. They may have wanted to jump ship, but now they're realizing Vince is back in charge. Vince's shadow is looming large, and then the sale of WWE merging with the UFC, with Endeavor buying them, that people might not be paid over there, but we got Poppy Khan, who's about to be a $1 billion man, reportedly. He's going to be shelling out the dough. So maybe we should stay here and make some money while we can. I don't know, but I'm excited about it. I think a hard brand split for AEW and splitting the rosters and really doing a brand split, separating the rosters, would be a tremendous move. And I think it would work beautifully for AEW with their bloated, and I mean bloated, roster. So let me know what you guys think about that. Miro, Thunder Rosa, Andrade back on AEW television. Andrade, I know, teased something on Twitter that he's about to return. So I'm excited about that, man. I love those guys, and I love Thunder Rosa. I think that's great. And I'm very excited about what Collision could be, man. We've been asking for a secondary show, a true successor to Dynamite. I truly hope they know what they're doing, and I truly hope they make it special on Saturday night, depending on if they split the rosters or not. We'll see what happens with that. But let me know what you guys think about all this news today on Off the Script. Let me know what you think of the pettiness of WWE. Do you think a brand split would work for AEW, splitting the shows between Dynamite and Collision? And who would you put in the ring with Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium for AEW All In. Sound off in the comments below. Guys, please hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for more wrestling news. Turn on the bell for all notifications and go follow me on social media at JDfromNY206 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Guys, I will see you with more news this weekend right here on Off the Script.